because she has written a book, because she is a survivor, because she shows this exemplary, I can't say it, strength, you know, something that just draws other survivors like myself to her. So, enough from me. I'm going to introduce my guest now. Her name is Ashely Nicole. Some of you all recognize her as Ashely Be Brave, which is the title of her book. She's a motivational speaker. She's a survivor. She's a vocalist. She does some other stuff that I probably don't have on my list. But overall, she is definitely, she is a phenomenal woman. And I have grown to adore this young lady. Welcome to the couch.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I'm excited. Initially, the first thing she did with the KASSIE project was Healing Through the Arts, which I shared with you, our fundraiser, and she came. We had just like met like what 2 days before that. I'm like, please, please, please come to my event and, you know, share with our audience. So Ashely, if I missed anything, tell us, you know, you are Ashely Nicole, what you do, why you do, and all those good things.
And I'm gonna get comfortable.
Please get comfortable. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I am Ashely Nicole, and some of the things that I have done, of course, written a book, and I've been traveling, doing some motivational speaking and teaching seminars. I created Be Brave Conversations, and what that is a small group for interactive dialogue that just promotes healthy conversations about specific topics. And as of lately, it's been life after sexual abuse, because I think a lot of people believe that there is no good life after sexual abuse or any type of abuse. They believe that you know, I'm tarnished or I'm damaged, and I can't be anything greater than what has happened to me. And so I like to empower people by, you know, sharing my story. You know, that's a component of it, but by also sharing the message that there is a happy life that can happen, you know, afterwards. You have to do the work. You have to be willing to confront your issues and work through that healing however it works for you.
So when did you, okay, let me get a timeline here.
Okay.
All right, so you are a survivor of?
Child sexual abuse and molestation.
Child sexual abuse and Child sexual abuse and molestation. And that's 3 for 3. So was our previous guest, and so am I. Wow. You know, 3 for 3. And 3 is my magic number. It's a magic number. But you, I want to know, did you start with the book? Did you start with the video post? When did you start speaking on the subject? Were you speaking on the subject prior to your opening up about it, or was it afterwards?
I have been subtly releasing information maybe over the last 10 to 12 years. Like when I moved to Cincinnati, I moved here to basically get away from an environment, a bad environment. And so I moved here. Majority of my adoptive family lives here, so I thought this would be the best place for me to go to get away. And so I came here, and, you know, people would invite me to come out sing, and I would just always feel compelled to speak versus just sing. And so I would take that opportunity to share my testimony and just share a very general statement, you know, that I endured some abuse. And then as I continued to talk about it, I was able to say some of the things that occurred, talk about the specifics of who it was as far as what family member it was. And the reason being is because I was trying to allow the space and opportunity for my abuser to seek forgiveness, to try to reconcile, to try to do the right thing. And so if the opportunity presented itself, I wanted to be able to say, you know what, I really do forgive you, and I haven't been out here tarnishing your name or damaging your name or doing the ungodly thing of just ripping you to shreds, you know. So I was working on that, and I was under the impression that my abuser, one of my abusers, because I went through it before I was adopted with my biological family, I actually went through physical rape and sodomy with a family member at the age of 3 or 4 years old. And so that was one of the reasons why I was actually placed in foster care and put up for adoption. And then I was adopted into a home of a pastor and his wife and their 2 children. And then later on down the line, probably when I was around 12 years old, my adoptive father started to sexually abuse me and molest me by doing different very weird things, like exposing himself, exposing me to pornography, making me watch that to see my reaction, to see how it made me feel. He would ask questions, and even went as far as to masturbate in front of me. And so, you know, those were things that you have to live with. You know, you can forgive people, you can heal, you can be whole, but there's certain things that you won't forget. And so you have to be able to put those in a place to where it does not interfere with your healing process or interfere with your forgiveness of that person.
Wait. You said you can be whole. I'm not sure if I totally and completely am on the same page with that. I know that based on what happened to me coming up, that it has, I won't say, well, it's the reason I have certain issues in relationships. It's the reason that I have certain perceptions of myself and my sexuality. It's the reason that, you know, so I hadn't felt whole. I mean, even though these are things that I have pushed to the back of my mind and like, you know, okay, well, that person's not here, they can't hurt me anymore, or let me not put myself in this situation so that somebody else can hurt me that way.
Right.
I have not felt whole. I felt totally empty because I knew there was something wrong with me, or I knew that I needed to heal from something. You know, or I could say I was sick and I needed to heal or whatever. But I always felt like there was something missing, like there was a reason why I couldn't either love properly, or there was a reason why I, you know, reacted or acted a certain way with my children or things like that. So I'm not challenging what you're saying, and I guess it's different for all of us, but I know that I was not whole for many moons, and I don't even think I'm whole yet. I'm working on it, and it takes a lot to recognize, to acknowledge, and then to speak about it, and then to hopefully get, you know, some sort of apology from the people who have, you know, violated you. So I didn't mean to go on a rant, but I'm just saying, you said, and it made me think, I'm like, well, I'm not whole, you know, and so if you are, you know, I'm lightweight jealous, but, you know, but I'm happy for you, but I just know for me, it didn't work that way. It didn't work that way. So I'm sorry, I just needed to say that. So,
no, that's fine. I guess to elaborate on that, for me, I can agree that there are things that have been an issue for me because of the abuse, because of the things that were done to me. And the way that I've always looked at it is as seeds that are planted. And so with every encounter, with every even verbal abuse, everything that was spoken to me, you know, you're stupid, or you're ugly, or you're this, or you're that, those were little seeds that were planted. And whenever a seed is planted, it has no choice but to grow into whatever it is. And so I think that's why it's important. It took me a long time to really dig down to the root of what my issues were. I knew I had insecurities. I knew I had issues with being jealous. I knew I had issues with trusting people, period, whether they were men or women. I knew I had issues with getting close to people. Growing up in foster care, you get used to detaching yourself. So, you know,
issues.
Yes. And so, like, I mean, to keep it real, you know, if I'm with someone and something has happened where they have hurt me, or a trigger comes up and I need to detach, I can do it with the quickness and not think twice about it. And that's, and I don't want to say that's a gift, but it is the nature of the beast. But I believe that is an unhealthy way for me to deal with problems. I can't go through the rest of my life just cutting off people. I have to learn how to deal with hurt appropriately.
And I stuff. So you can detach, but I stuff. Like, I'll just, you know, suck it up like, okay, you know, they did that, so either I'm not going to let them do it again, or I'm not going to say anything about it. You know, hopefully they know that it hurts. So, yeah, you can detach. I wish I had the gift of detachment. I call it a gift of detachment. Because, yeah, I'm a big stuffer, so I've been told. And, yeah, I internalize everything. And I think that comes from not having anybody to believe me or speak with when I was going through or coming up. So I think that that's where my stuffing comes from, being told, suck it up. So I've just learned to suck everything up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so